Hi guys, welcome back to another fragrance video on my channel and thanks so much for tuning in again. Now in today's video I want to talk to you about the new releases by the house AMOUAGE, which is an oriental fragrance house, and they have released two new fragrances, Boundless and Material, and I'm gonna tell you everything that I think about these fragrances and why they are, in my opinion, pretty much overhyped. But first of all, welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching this video. If you are new and you're interested in topics like fragrance reviews, beard care, hairstyling, and skincare, then please subscribe. The button is just below this video, and I would be very happy to have you as a part of my community. Now, let me just say one thing in the beginning. I have seen some reviews, and generally people seem to love these fragrances, and I clearly want to state that these fragrances don't smell bad in any way. They are really quite good in terms of their DNA. However, they have to compare, in my opinion, to way cheaper alternatives. And actually, since they cost around 300 bucks for 100 mils, it would be unfair to not compare them to way cheaper alternatives that do essentially the same. And in my opinion, when you spend 300 bucks on a fragrance, you really want it to be awesome and kick-ass, and you want it to be super unique, or at least have some really unique twist to it that gives you a lot of compliments, plus some really crazy performance. And unfortunately, none of these things are really quite there in my opinion. But first, let's start off with Boundless, which is a cardamom-based fragrance. And it's a cardamom-based fragrance with a vanillic dry down that also has some resinous notes in it, some incense, some woodiness. And the fragrance that I think of when I hear vanillic dry down plus woods, which is one of the most popular men's fragrances ever released, is Le Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. And it just so happens that the new Le Male Le Parfum, which was released in 2020, actually has cardamom in the top notes, very much like Boundless. And in my opinion, these two are really very similar, with the Le Male one retailing at, I believe, around 100 bucks for 100 mils. So it's about a third of the price, which is absolutely insane. And if you want to see my review of it, I didn't really love it because it wasn't super unique at the time, but it's very, very similar to Boundless, and it's only a fraction of the price. So if you want to see my review of it, I'll link it in the info card up here. Another fragrance that this can be compared to is Cartier Déclaration Le Parfum, so the perfume version of Déclaration by Cartier, which also has a very strong cardamom note to it, very natural smelling cardamom note, combined with some slightly animalic twists. So I would say that Cartier Déclaration is even more oriental than this one, because it has some skin body odor type of fragrance note to it that makes it really very dirty and very, very animalic and oriental. So I was really shocked to smell Boundless, because I expected way more for a $300 fragrance, because the projection was kind of like sweet, vanillic, and not really very special. And when I smelled it on my skin, all I smelled was cardamom and then some resinous and sweet dry down, which reminded me very much of Le Male and Déclaration by Cartier, both of which are way cheaper than this fragrance. Now, the second one, which is called Material, is centered around various resins plus vanilla and tonka bean. So you get a lot of naturally smelling incense, and in the dry down you get a tonka beanish, vanillic, and slightly sweet and resinous combination that really is not something new, you know? And there are actually two fragrances that I can compare this to, or that I was reminded of when smelling this. The first one is Bois d'Argent by Dior, which is cheaper than this one, 100 bucks cheaper, I believe. And the second one is Nuit de Feu by Louis Vuitton. And I mean, with Material, my experience wasn't as bad, and I wasn't as shocked because it wasn't as mainstream, but I still knew like the general fragrance DNA. And I mean, Bois d'Argent has been around for a couple of years already, and it was like, well, why does it smell so similar to this fragrance? And why don't they use their oriental superpowers and release something like really crazy and unique and super kick-ass, you know? So I was kind of disappointed by both releases, to be honest. I mean, projection, longevity and performance in general are not the problem here. They are both great in terms of their performance, but they are not unique. And my gut feeling is that AMOUAGE is trying to go into more of a mainstreamish route, Because Reflection Man, on the other hand, which is a super mainstream release for their house and was really their most mainstream release by far for a very long time, because this fragrance was so popular, I believe they are kind of trying to replicate the success of Reflection Man. Although I have to say that lately Reflection Man hasn't been as good. I've tried some samples of the latest batches recently and they are really not strongly performing anymore. So I was really disappointed by this as well. And I have to say that the dupes, for example, by Dua Fragrances, really are a very good alternative to the original. At least at the time of shooting this video. So I don't really know what's going on there. I can only say that I wasn't too hyped about these two because they smell very mainstreamish to me and I don't think they are worthy of their price tag, because I personally like to choose a fragrance in this price range that is super unique, that is awesome in terms of the ingredients and in terms of the complexity that it just has, and this is all missing here, so I didn't really enjoy these two as much. However, I'm super excited to read about your opinion in the comments down below. So have you tried Material or Boundless by AMOUAGE, and what's your opinion on the fragrances? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and bye bye.